All right, well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank y'all for joining us. Got a lot for you today, so it may take me a little bit to get through this, but I just want to thank Director Stallings. I know you've been hearing from him over the last 48 hours. I want to thank him and the GEMA team that are here, certainly General Wilson and Georgia National Guard, Agriculture Commissioner Harper and his team, Insurance Commissioner King and his team, Attorney General Carr's with us, the Department of Public Safety, Georgia DOT, Department of Natural Resources, including the Environmental Protection Division, the Georgia Forestry Commission's with us, Department of Corrections, and a lot of local emergency first responders and many other partners that are here in the State Operations Center with us. I wanted to walk you through just real quick what Director Stallings has been talking to you about the last day or so on what we've done to prepare for the storm. We've declared a state of emergency, as you know, for all 159 counties on Tuesday, giving emergency management teams plenty of time to prepare and also deployed resources where needed ahead of this storm. In my direction, Director Stallings activated the State Operations Center at full-scale level yesterday morning so that we could continue to prepare and monitor the storm's progress and coordinate closely with all relevant agencies on the state, local, and federal level. As part of the state of emergency, I've authorized up to 500 Georgia Guardsmen should they be needed. I also asked FEMA, and the FEMA folks are with us here too. I want to thank them for their support. I asked them yesterday to grant us a pre-impact emergency declaration to further help get resources where they need to go. That declaration was granted this morning, and again, want to thank our federal partners for that. We have put considerable state resources toward this, literally all across state government. The Georgia National Guard, as I mentioned, we got 250 called up now with the ability to go to 500. We'll go to whatever we need. As we see that need develop, General Wilson's going to speak to you next, and I'll let him address that. For the Department of Public Safety, Colonel Hitchens, all troopers and officers are available and on duty in what they call as a Phase A condition. Department of Natural Resources, we have 120 ranger teams called up for duty, 7 task force teams, and 24 strike teams ready to go that will respond as needed to help clear roads, conduct water rescues, provide security, and deliver critical supplies. Commissioner McMurray's with us, the Georgia Department of Transportation. We have crews literally embedded all across the state to help remove debris. They wanted to have me ask all our citizens if it is not necessary for you to be on the roads during and after this storm, please try to stay home. This is a big storm. It is going to affect our entire state. We feel certain we're going to be having to remove debris and clear roads statewide. So instead of deploying a bunch of resources to one part of the state like we normally would do before a storm, we're expecting to have to deal with debris fields in all parts of the state. So we're going to have a lot of people that we need to get moving to get the roads clear. And if there are people in our way, that's just going to slow down our progress, and it's very dangerous as well. As you remember, in the last storm, we had a loss of life with a tree falling on a car. So just if people can stay home and stay off the roads unless it's an emergency or something critical that they have to do, that would be a big help to us. The Georgia Forestry Commission is here with us. They have 10 chainsaw teams and 42 people in an incident management team that are ready to go. The Georgia Department of Corrections has 20 chainsaw teams, commercial kitchen teams, and water tankers available. We have 150 GBI agents at our disposal, and then from the federal level, obviously FEMA support. We've got 2 urban search and rescue teams. We've stationed one of those in Gainesville, Georgia, and one in Macon, Georgia. On the state park front, at DNR outside the path of the storm are open and available to displaced citizens, including pets and animals. We're currently housing 215 Florida evacuees at our state parks. We're coordinating with our utility providers who have been incredible partners over the years and certainly this year already and they are prepared to respond to any power outages. CEO of Georgia Power, Kemp is with us this afternoon. They have roughly 10,000 linemen deployed and ready to go as soon as the storm passes and the winds die down enough that it is safe for them to work. The Georgia EMCs have 8,000 people ready to do the same. I just want to thank them personally for the great preparation that they've done, and I know they will be very busy in the days ahead, and I know they would echo the sentiment of just trying to keep roads clear. Don't touch down power lines. Don't get close to down power lines. Let them get in there and do their work. Also, would just like to urge people's patience. As you know, depending on really how many trees we have down, how much debris we're dealing with, how many power lines we have down, and what we're dealing with there, it's going to probably take us a while to get power back going with the size of the storm and also just how much of the state it's going to affect. So I would ask people just to be patient. I can promise you we will respond with full force as soon as it's safe to do so. The First Lady, Marty Kemp, would want me to remind everyone to make sure and remember your pets and your animals, to take care of them before the storm hits and not during the storm, and certainly we would ask you to do that. To give you a status on the storm, and Will's here as well, he can give you a weather update if you need one when we get in Q&A. This storm is currently a Category 2 with wind speeds at 100+ miles an hour. It's expected to make landfall on Florida's Big Bend area this evening as a Category 3 hurricane. As Will told me in our briefing, at this point it doesn't really matter what category this storm is. It's one of the biggest that we've ever seen in the Atlantic from a size perspective on the width of it, over around 500 miles wide. So it's going to affect a large area as it comes across Florida into Georgia. We believe it can remain at hurricane strength as it moves up through Macon and possibly into metro Atlanta tomorrow evening. This storm will travel north throughout Georgia, exiting the state around midday tomorrow. As I mentioned earlier, this will be a statewide event. We expect strong winds throughout the state with hurricane-force winds, wind gusts up to 80 to 100 miles an hour possible into Macon overnight. And certainly there's an extremely strong possibility of spin-off tornadoes, as unfortunately we're going to be on the state of Georgia and most of our counties are going to be on the dirty side of this storm or the east side of this storm. So that's something else people need to be prepared for. Be listening to your local media outlets for potential tornado watches and warnings. We also know that this is going to be a heavy rain event for a lot of our state. And I may get Will to come up and explain that to you in just a minute, considering what we went through with Debbie and a lot of flooding. This has the potential to be worse. Certainly the possibility of fallen trees, down power lines, debris, impossible roads, and even something we don't normally talk about, but potentially landslides with the amount of rain that we're going to get in certain parts of our state and certainly up in the more mountainous, hilly part of our state. So just be on the lookout for that as well. I mentioned the potential and probably likelihood of extended power outages or possible statewide, and certainly we're expecting that in southwest and south central Georgia. Just to recap real quick on the storm moving through the state. So we believe that the South Georgia window for the storm hitting is going to be sunset tonight through sunrise in the morning. Middle Georgia will be roughly a 10 p.m. to 10 a.m. event. And then in North Georgia, we're looking at midnight to noon. So certainly this storm hitting in the middle of the night with the potential for tornadoes and other things, people just need to be very, very, very weather aware all this evening and be prepared at home. I would encourage people to make final preparations before this afternoon so that you'll be ready when the storm comes into our state. And again, I can assure you we will respond with every asset that we have available as soon as it's safe to do so. With that, I'm going to call up General Wilson to give you a quick update on the Guard, and then I think it might be good to get Will to come up, and I'll let you talk about the wind and rain event a little bit. General Wilson.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Well, Governor Kemp and Director Stallings, sir, thanks a bunch. We're certainly glad to be here and be part of the team. A lot of great work has happened over the last several days at the local, state, and the federal level. And so your National Guard, your Georgia National Guard, has about 250 folks that are on duty today. As the governor said, he's authorized up to 500, and so we'll make some assessments and see what is out there that we still need to do after the storm passes through. But we can certainly expand and have the capacity to do whatever the local communities need for us to do all across the state. So some of the initial mission sets that we're looking at, we have route and debris clearance teams already postured throughout the state. Those teams are comprised of chainsaw teams. We have 20 of those that are really all over the state, ready to get out and get to work when required. We have 8 engineer teams with some larger engineer equipment to be able to push some debris and get some stuff off of roadways when we need to. We're going to provide a trans company and some logistics capability down to Macon to be able to move commodities around the state wherever that we need to. And then we have just a bunch of general purpose soldiers and airmen that are available to provide protection and security along any infrastructure or whatever else we may need to throughout the state. So your National Guard is prepared to do whatever that we need to, and a ton of hard work and has gone into the response piece of this so far. So again, just thanks for all the effort and what you're doing for us. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well,
hey everyone. So as the governor has briefed and Director Stallings has been saying for the last few days, this is a significant rainfall and wind event across the state. We're expecting tropical storm force conditions at a minimum in all 159 counties in Georgia tonight and tomorrow morning. The high risk that you can see behind us from the Weather Prediction Center is their highest product that they issue. That was issued last in Georgia during Debbie for the 10 to 14 inches of rain we saw then, and we're expecting, including yesterday's rain and tonight and tomorrow's rain, storm total rainfall amounts to be somewhere in that same vicinity of 8 to 12, maybe even some higher amounts in the northeast Georgia mountains. So a high threat of significant flash flooding, life-threatening flash flooding. I would encourage everyone to have their emergency alerts turned on. If you're under a flash flood warning, you need to seek higher ground. If you're in a tornado warning, you need to seek lower ground. So again, that's two different things, two different actions to take, but you really need to be weather aware, as the governor said. We have a chance with the extent of winds, and certainly within about 50 miles of the center of the storm as it moves through Georgia, hurricane force winds to be possible. With the supersaturated grounds from the rain, it will make trees and power lines that much easier to come down. So I anticipate widespread, maybe extended power outages tonight and tomorrow. Luckily, this storm will move out fairly quickly for a hurricane, so by midday tomorrow we should see weather conditions start to rapidly improve, and we do have a pretty nice weekend behind us, so we can get out there and respond and recover.
You want to talk about the size of the wind field?
Yes, sir.
Compared to previous.
So this is the corollary really is Irma from 2017, and it's even larger. Right now, the wind field, the tropical storm force wind field, is forecast to be 400 or 500 miles wide when this storm peaks out later tonight. And as it moves through Georgia, it's going to cover the entire state. So that's why we see the tropical storm warning for the whole state, and then obviously you have the hurricane warning for much of the state as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Will. You got anything? We're good. All right, y'all got questions for anybody? Art?
Governor Kemp, with the estimate, I know it's early and this is a lot Chris Stallings talked about yesterday. Do we have any anticipation on the cost and how federal dollars could also help? Where are we looking into post of the storm, even though it hasn't hit just yet?
Well, we'll certainly worry about that when we get through all this. I know, and Director Stallings can come in with probably more specific numbers than me, but the thing I took away from the briefing, and I remember Hurricane Michael well because it was right when I came into office, and that the storm actually hit when Governor Deal was in office, and it was during the transition. And so we were working on a lot of the aftermath of how, and everybody remembers how massive that storm was, how much damage it was, not only normal damage, but just from an ag perspective and other things. And I was talking to Commissioner Harper about this earlier, but I mean, they're thinking the dollar amount of damage for this storm is going to be bigger than Michael, so it's going to be a lot.
Governor, are there any plans on what to do with outages affect the airports?
I'm sorry.
Are there any plans on what to do if outages or the weather affects airports?
Well, we'll do what we always do. I mean, you know, they got backup power sources and other things at the airport, but, you know, just like our utility contractors and our Georgia Power and EMC employees, I mean, they cannot work if the winds are so severe that it's dangerous for them, and certainly that's the case with people flying at the airport. So I'm sure at some point there'll be a slowdown or a stoppage, but, you know, I know the mayor gave a press conference, I think it was yesterday. I've been in touch with him and the airport folks. You know, they know how to handle these things. The good thing about us having the State Operations Center open is that we're in contact with all these state and local resources, and so we'll just work through that if that ends up being the case.